Assassin's Creed has evolved more than almost any other game in franchise. Whether that's for better or for worse is debatable, but what's not that it's introduced some truly amazing features over the years. At the same time, in the 17 years since its debut, we've also seen features get removed, poorly implemented, or never introduced at all. And now with Assassin's Creed Shadows less than 2 months from release, Ubisoft is finally bringing back some of the most requested changes we have been waiting for. I recently spent near 6 hours playing Shadows, and in this video I'll go over all the big and small changes and share my personal experience on how well these have been implemented. Canon mode. Ever since Assassin's Creed went full RPG with Odyssey and added dialogue choices, a lot of fans weren't exactly happy. And yeah, I get it, it kinda took away from the classic AC experience. Well, Shadows is actually fixing that with Canon mode. And honestly, that's a big win for anyone who wants a more immersive, story-driven experience without dialogue choices. Now, if you're wondering how it actually works, I played the game in both normal and Canon mode. In Canon mode, the game picks the intended choice for you, but in normal mode, you're in control, choosing how conversations play out.
Who do you serve?
I serve no master.
Who do you serve?
I seek to help the people of Harima.
Like in this scene here, now it automatically picks the Canon choice in Canon mode, but in normal mode, you decide. And honestly, Canon mode makes a huge difference. It feels more cinematic, it also makes the game feel less like an RPG, which OG AC fans are really gonna love. And don't worry, even in Canon mode, you still get to choose whether to play as Naoe or Yasuke for each quest. Hidden Blade combat and double assassinations. Hidden Blade combat is finally back in Shadows after being gone for more than a decade, and honestly, I got no idea why Ubisoft ever removed it. It's such an iconic part of the franchise. But hey, it's back now, and before playing the game, I was really excited to try it. So while playing as Naoe, I spent most of my time just using it, and I gotta say, it felt really good. The attacks are super fast, and the finishers are so satisfying. Sure, it don't deal as much damage as other weapons, but it's so quick that it don't even matter. 4 or 5 quick hits unsettled enemies, and then I had time to hit a strong posture attack. From what I've played so far, this is 100% gonna be one of my favorite weapons in the game. Also, Hidden Blade combat ain't the only thing making a return. Double assassinations are back too. The moment I saw the prompt for a double assassination, my eyes lit up, and it felt so awesome to finally do it again. The only thing that kinda threw me off was the camera cut. It felt a bit off, and I wish it was seamless like before. Upgraded Parkour. Now, Parkour hasn't changed exactly how everyone would have wanted it to, but honestly, I still had fun with it. It's not like the old AC games, but it's definitely better than what we had in the recent RPG entries. First of all, Naoe moves ridiculously fast. Seriously, she might be the quickest assassin we have ever played as. Now, I know some people gonna say, oh, they just added some flips and new animations, that's not a real change. And yeah, fair point, but from what I played, I actually enjoyed it. I felt like I had a little bit more control now. Back ejects are back too, and they actually feel so satisfying to pull off. Like here I cleared a huge gap between 2 buildings using a back eject, and it just reminded me why these mechanics were so fun in the older games. You can't gain height with side or back ejects yet, but maybe they will tweak that later, like they did it with Mirage. But hey, at least it's back now. There's also automated passovers, which basically are vaults, and even sprint dodges, which feels really responsive. Plus there's objects placed around the world specifically for that too. So yeah, parkour in Shadows is basic but fun. I know we all wanted more control and better level design, but honestly, instead of just copy-pasting Valhalla's clunky parkour, at least they have given us something better. And I can't wait to mess around with it even more. Assassins vs Templars. This next one's more of a lore thing, but I've been waiting for this. So tell me, Hidden Ones versus Order of the Ancients or Assassins versus Templars? Be real, which one do you like more? For me, it's Assassins vs Templars. That whole ideological battle always been one of the best parts of Assassin's Creed, and I'm so glad we're finally seeing it again in Shadows. I know there's almost no difference between the two, but something about Assassins vs Templars just feels right. And yeah, just remaining it isn't enough. The story needs to focus on both factions too. I played the prologue, and while the Templar-Assassin conflict wasn't the main focus, there were definitely hints that it's gonna be a big part of the story, and that alone has me super excited. Season system. When I think of an Assassin's Creed game that really changed things up, my mind always goes to AC3. That game did so many things for the first time. Tree parkour, naval combat, environmental hiding spots, the list just goes on. But one of its best features never came back, the season system. Back in 2012, having dynamic seasons in a game was unheard of, and AC3 actually pulled it off really well. And then, nothing. It never really came back. But now, Shadows is finally bringing it back, and it's looking better than ever. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, each one completely changes the world, both visually and in gameplay. Like I was walking down this beautiful road lined with cherry blossoms with pink petals everywhere. But then the season changed and the whole place looked completely different. I really can't wait to see how other seasons changes the world in Shadows and how they affect the gameplay. Realistic weather and nighttime. Remember how weird nighttime looked in Valhalla? It was way too bright, just didn't feel natural at all. And honestly, it wasn't just the nighttime. Weather effects like rain and wind felt super underwhelming too, which is crazy cause Black Flag had insane thunderstorms, but after that, the weather effects felt basic. Shadows though, it takes everything to the next level. Since stealth and darkness play such a big role, it's literally called Shadows. The game actually nails the lighting and nighttime atmosphere. Nighttime in Shadows feels dark, like properly dark. Some people might even think it's too dark, but I like it. Rain in the game also feels heavy and real. Just listen to the sound and ambience when it rains. It's so good. And when the rain stops, the street turns muddy, puddles form everywhere, exactly how it should be. And the wind, we have never seen wind done like this in an AC game before. Hair, fire, clothes, trees, everything reacts to it. It's such a small detail, but it makes the whole world feel so much more alive. Overall, I absolutely love the new weather effects in Shadows. Prone mechanics. Now and Yasuke are the first protagonist in Assassin's Creed who can actually go prone, and honestly it's about time. Like how did it take this long for a stealth game to just let us lie down properly? I've always loved going prone in Metal Gear games, so having it in Shadows just feels right. And let me tell you, when I was doing stealth in Shadows, going prone felt real good. It makes getting around unseen way easier, helps break line of sight, and the animations look good too. I even performed assassinations from prone and yeah, it felt satisfying. Oh, and whenever you're prone, you can actually roll by pressing the dodge button. The world is also built around this too. Low grass patches to hide in and small crawl spaces under building. And while you can go prone as both, I mostly did it with Naue. It might not seem like a biggest feature, but trust me, it completely changes how you approach stealth in this game. Different playstyles. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, we had Jacob and Evie Fry, the first dual protagonist in the series, and while they weren't that different gameplay-wise, they still had their own distinct feel. But after that, every attempt at having both a male and female protagonist felt either forced or unnecessary. Shadows finally fixes this. Naoe and Yasuke are as different as it gets. Their skills, weapons, movement, and playstyles are completely unique. Like when I was playing as Naoe, combat felt so much harder, especially when I was surrounded by enemies. Now that don't mean she can't handle multiple enemies, she totally can, but it's much tougher compared to Yasuke. That man is a beast. I was blowing through groups of enemies and while I wouldn't say it was easy, it was definitely fun. But Yasuke is not built for stealth, he doesn't even have the eagle vision, and his assassinations, they're called brutal assassinations. They are slow and loud as hell. Naoe on the other hand is a stealth expert. She can hide in chests, crawl under buildings, and her assassinations are fast and silent. Honestly, they're so different that switching between them makes the game more fun. I played Naoe more since I love stealth, but sometimes I'd switch to Yasuke and go full chaos mode, and that is what makes this dual protagonist system actually work. Improved skill tree. You guys remember Valhalla's skill tree? Yeah, what even was that? It was so confusing, way too cluttered, and honestly it felt like they just threw a bunch of random skills in there for no reason. Well, Shadows actually gets it right. The skill trees are structured, easy to understand, and finally make sense without feeling overwhelming. Now, skills are tied to your weapon and playstyle. Like Naoe has separate skills for all her weapons, tools, and shinobi assassin abilities. Meanwhile, Yasuke's skills are focused on his weapons and samurai abilities, and it just makes everything way more organized. Plus, you can fully customize it based on your playstyle. Don't like a certain weapon? Just don't unlock its skills. Stick to what you actually enjoy. Overall, Shadows' skill tree is just a massive upgrade. No Eagle Companion. Shadows is the first Assassin's Creed RPG that won't have an Eagle Companion, and you know what? After playing for 6 hours, I don't really miss it at all. Yeah, having an eagle was useful for scouting hideouts, tagging enemies, and finding objectives, but let's be real, it also made things way too easy. Without it, the game feels more grounded, more immersive, and honestly, more like a true Assassin's Creed experience. Want to get a top-down view of an area? Climb a pagoda. Need to uncover key locations? Look for clues? Or ask scouts for intel? Want to tag enemies? Use the new observe mechanic. And let's be honest, the eagle aside from Seinu in Origins never really had a connection to the lore. After that, it was just reused and reskinned across games. So yeah, I'm actually glad that Shadows removed it. So there you have it. Shadows is finally bringing back the features that we have been waiting for years. I've had a great time playing it so far and I can't wait to play it again. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below which change you are most excited for and which one you think is still missing. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.